Wetlands is a topic I've been interested in for 25 or more years now, and particularly wetlands in drylands. Drylands is a collective term for the world's hyper-arid, arid, semi-arid and dry subhumid environments. So the term wetlands in drylands sounds like a contradiction, but actually we can find many globally important wetlands in these environments, some being sustained by groundwater, some being sustained by rainfall, and some being sustained by river flow, perhaps in combination with groundwater and rainfall. They're significant for a number of reasons, both locally, regionally and internationally. I mean, one of the most obvious reasons is that wetlands are often the only reliable sources of water in otherwise dry environments. So they provide drinking water, they provide food resources sometimes for local peoples, fish or other wildlife. They can be biodiversity hotspots, they can be important carbon stores, and many of them have interesting histories which are just not well known scientifically. We have a project that we're currently working on in southwest Spain in Doñana National Park. It's a globally important wetland, principally on the basis of its biodiversity. But myself and Andrew Thomas from the department here and Keith Ben-Susan from the National Botanic Gardens in Gibraltar, we're co-supervising a PhD student at the University of Gibraltar, Tasmin Griffiths. She's looking at the soils in Doñana National Park and trying to work out the amount of carbon stored in those soils. And we hope this will raise awareness of the soil carbon stock in Doñana and how this may be vulnerable to a variety of climate change and human impacts. One of the consequences of losing wetlands is that their role in helping to mitigate flood disasters is lost. So we hear a lot about flash flood impacts in different parts of the world at the moment, and wetlands can play a role in helping to mitigate or prevent flash flood disasters, partly because if you have a wetland in place in a river valley, it helps spread the flow and slow the flow down, and also trap sediment and any pollutants that may be coming along the river. So in recent years, we've seen an increasing number of flash floods in many countries worldwide, not just drylands, but also wetter parts of the world. And it's pretty hard to draw a link between any one particular flash flood event and climate change, but undoubtedly the trend is there that as the climate becomes more variable, flash flood disasters seem to be increasing in magnitude and frequency. They happen more often, and when they occur, they're much bigger disasters than historically has been the case. Colleagues and I in the department here, along with some colleagues in Jordan and also at Sheffield Hallam University, produced a booklet called 10 Points that everyone should know about flash floods. And in that booklet, we tried to break down the science of flash floods and how to better manage them into sort of bite-sized chunks that policymakers hopefully can take something from, but also that we can use to educate a variety of audiences from school children to the interested layperson. Estimates suggest over the last 100 to 150 years we've perhaps lost 50 to 90% of wetlands worldwide. We don't really have a good figure for wetlands and drylands, partly because most people don't even recognise their existence. Secondly, there's been no solid inventories done on a worldwide basis. Raising their profile, I think, would help people to appreciate what we've got before we lose them. I would like to see it coming more to the attention of people who are charged with protecting and looking after these environments at national, international level, so that the science that we do can at least be taken into account when management decisions are being made. If we lose even more than we have done already, that's just another contributor to profound changes to the Earth's system and how it functions. So we need to protect as many as we can.